What if the real reason you can't lose that stubborn belly fat has nothing to do with willpower or calories and everything to do with one overlooked hormone? For years, we've been told that losing weight is just about eating less and moving more. But what if your body's biology has been quietly working against you this whole time? In this video, we're going to explore the #1 insulin hack that targets the asterisk root cause asterisk of visceral fat, something deeper than motivation or macros, the silent driver behind slow metabolism, cravings, and stubborn belly fat, insulin resistance. Now, I know that might sound complicated, but it's actually pretty simple once you understand what's happening in your body. Insulin is like a key. It unlocks your cells to let energy in. When this system works well, your body can easily burn fat for fuel. But when it doesn't, when your cells stop responding properly to insulin, your body stores more fat, especially around your midsection, no matter how clean you eat or how hard you work out. Here's the empowering part: you can reset this system. You don't have to starve yourself, cut out carbs completely, or leave on coffee and discipline. By making small, science-backed adjustments like changing the timing of your meals, pairing nutrients in smarter ways, and supporting your natural insulin rhythm, you can help your body switch back into fat burning mode naturally and keep it there all day long. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried keto or fasting? And did it actually work for you long term? Let me know in the comments below. Sometimes the best insights come from real people sharing their real experiences. Insulin is one of the most powerful hormones in your body, and yet most people barely understand what it really does. Think of it like your body's energy traffic controller. Every time you eat, especially something with carbohydrates or sugar, your blood sugar levels rise. Insulin's job is to escort that sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells, where it can be used for energy or stored for later. When this process runs smoothly, your body has a balanced rhythm of energy use and storage. You eat, insulin rises, sugar moves into cells, and then insulin levels drop again, so your body can burn fat between meals. But the problem starts when this system gets overwhelmed. When you're constantly grazing, drinking sugary beverages, or eating processed foods that spike your blood sugar, your pancreas is forced to release insulin over and over again. Over time, your cells become desensitized. They stop listening to insulin's signals. Imagine someone ringing your doorbell all day long. After a while, you just stop answering. That's what happens inside your body. This is insulin resistance, when your cells no longer respond efficiently to insulin's knock, forcing your body to produce more and more of it to get the same job done. And here's where it gets tricky. High insulin levels aren't just a symptom. They cause fat storage. Insulin's presence tells your body, store energy, don't burn fat. So even if you're eating less or working out more, your body can stay stuck in fat storage mode because it's being told hormonally that food is abundant and energy needs to be saved. This is why so many people struggle with stubborn belly fat despite doing everything right. It's not that you lack discipline, it's that your metabolism is being hijacked by chronically elevated insulin. Visceral fat, the deep belly fat that surrounds your organs, is especially linked to this hormonal imbalance. It's not just about aesthetics, it's metabolically active tissue that actually worsens insulin resistance. The more visceral fat you have, the more inflammatory molecules and stress hormones your body produces, which further interfere with insulin's signals. It becomes a vicious cycle. Insulin resistance leads to more fat storage, which leads to more insulin resistance. What's even more frustrating is how subtle this process can be. Many people develop insulin resistance long before they ever see a change in their blood sugar numbers or get a diagnosis from a doctor. You might notice that you're hungrier between meals, you crave carbs or sweets, or you feel energy crashes in the afternoon. You might find it harder to lose weight even though your habits haven't changed. These are all early signs that your body is becoming less sensitive to insulin's signal. But understanding what's happening inside your body can be incredibly empowering. Once you realize that the problem isn't you, but a hormonal imbalance that can be improved, you start to see the path forward. By calming your insulin response, you allow your body to access its stored energy again to burn fat naturally instead of hoarding it. This doesn't mean you need to follow extreme diets or starve yourself. In fact, those approaches can make things worse if they add more stress to your system. The goal isn't to eliminate insulin, you need it to live, but to restore its natural rhythm. You want insulin levels that rise after meals and fall between them, giving your body time to switch into repair and fat burning mode. When your insulin sensitivity improves, everything else begins to fall into place. Your hunger signals normalize, your energy levels even out, and your body starts using fat for fuel again. It's like turning off a constant store fat signal and flipping the switch to burn energy efficiently. So if you've been feeling stuck, tired, inflamed, or like your metabolism just isn't working the way it used to, it's not a personal failure. It's biology responding to a constant environment of stress, processed food, and irregular rhythms. The good news is that once you start working with your body, not against it, insulin resistance can be reversed. Step by step, you can reset your metabolism and free yourself from that fat storage cycle that's been holding you back. Visceral fat is often called the hidden fat because, unlike the fat you can pinch under your skin, this type of fat wraps itself around your internal organs, your liver, pancreas, and intestines. It doesn't just sit there quietly, it's metabolically active, meaning it behaves almost like a separate organ with its own chemical signals and hormones. While a small amount of visceral fat is normal and even protective, too much of it creates a storm of hormonal and inflammatory changes that make your body hold onto fat even more tightly. To understand why visceral fat is so stubborn, it helps to look at how it develops. When insulin levels stay elevated for too long, your body begins to store more fat internally, especially near vital organs. This happens because your liver is one of the first places insulin sends excess glucose to be converted into fat. Over time, those fat droplets accumulate in and around the liver and surrounding tissues. Unlike subcutaneous fat, which is stored just beneath the skin, visceral fat grows deep within your abdomen, crowding your organs and interfering with how they function. This fat is hormonally active. It doesn't just store energy. It sends out chemical messengers that affect your entire metabolism. It releases inflammatory cytokines, stress hormones like cortisol, and free fatty acids that flow directly into your liver. These signals tell your body that something is wrong, keeping it in a state of low-grade chronic inflammation, and that inflammation feeds right back into insulin resistance, creating a cycle where the more visceral fat you have, the harder it becomes for your cells to respond to insulin. That's one of the reasons traditional dieting often fails to target this specific kind of fat. When you simply cut calories without addressing the hormonal imbalance behind the scenes, your body interprets the calorie deficit as a stress signal. In response, cortisol rises, which encourages even more fat storage in the belly. Your body is wired for survival when it senses restriction or deprivation. It protects your internal organs by storing energy around them. So while you may lose weight from your face or limbs, that deep belly fat often refuses to budge. Another reason visceral fat is resistant to typical dieting is that it changes your hunger and satiety hormones. Leptin, the hormone that tells your brain you're full, becomes less effective when you carry excess visceral fat. At the same time, ghrelin, the hunger hormone, becomes more active. This combination leaves you feeling hungrier and less satisfied, driving you to eat more even when your body doesn't need the extra calories. It's not about weak willpower, it's a biochemical trap that keeps your metabolism out of balance. Visceral fat also affects how your liver processes energy. The liver plays a major role in maintaining healthy blood sugar levels, but when it becomes surrounded by fat, its ability to regulate glucose and insulin starts to falter. Fatty liver, which often develops silently alongside insulin resistance, can amplify the hormonal chaos even more. The result is a body that's constantly receiving mixed signals. Insulin says store, cortisol says protect, and your hunger hormones say eat. To make matters worse, visceral fat is closely tied to the body's stress response. Chronic psychological stress, poor sleep, or even emotional tension can elevate cortisol, and cortisol has a direct relationship with abdominal fat storage. That's why people who are under constant pressure, even if they eat well, often notice that their weight collects around the belly. This is your body's ancient survival mechanism, trying to shield your organs and conserve energy during perceived danger. The good news is that once you address the underlying hormonal and inflammatory environment, visceral fat can shrink often faster than you'd expect. The key is to work asterisk with asterisk your biology, not against it. That means focusing on balancing insulin through nutrient timing, stabilizing blood sugar levels, managing stress, and improving sleep. These strategies calm down cortisol and lower inflammation, which signals to your body that it's safe to release stored energy. When your hormones are balanced and inflammation subsides, your metabolism begins to shift back toward fat burning mode. You'll notice that your energy stabilizes, cravings lessen, and your midsection starts to feel less bloated and heavy. It's not about punishing your body with restriction, it's about restoring communication between your brain, your hormones, and your cells. Once that system starts working again, the body naturally lets go of the extra that it no longer needs to hold onto. One of the most powerful yet overlooked ways to heal insulin resistance isn't a supplement or a strict diet, it's timing. The way you space your meals, the time of day you eat, and how you align your food intake with your body's natural rhythm can dramatically change how your metabolism works. Our bodies run on circadian rhythms 24, our biological cycles that influence everything from hormone release to digestion. Insulin, too, follows this rhythm. It's more responsive during the day and less efficient at night, meaning when you eat matters almost as much as what you eat. When you eat late at night or graze throughout the day, your body never gets a break from producing insulin. That constant insulin presence keeps your body locked in storage mode, unable to fully switch over to burning fat. But when you sync your eating pattern with your circadian rhythm, you give insulin a chance to rest. For most people, this means eating within an 8-10 hour window during daylight hours, roughly between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., and allowing your body to fast naturally overnight. You're not starving yourself, you're simply allowing insulin levels to fall long enough for your body to start using stored fat for energy again. The science behind this is fascinating. Studies have shown that insulin sensitivity is highest in the morning, which means your body can handle carbs and glucose more efficiently earlier in the day. As the day goes on, your cells become less responsive, and by nighttime, your body is naturally preparing for rest, not digestion. When you eat large, heavy meals late in the evening, your blood sugar spikes stay higher for longer, and insulin has to work overtime to bring it back down. Over time, that pattern contributes to insulin resistance and fat accumulation around the midsection. By shifting your meals earlier, you align with your body's internal clock, a system that evolved long before artificial lighting and 24-hour food access. Morning and midday eating supports healthy metabolism, while nighttime eating disrupts it. This is why many people notice better energy, fewer cravings, and even weight loss simply by changing asterisk when asterisk they eat, not necessarily how much. Meal timing also affects other hormones that interact with insulin. Cortisol, your body's main stress hormone, peaks in the morning to help you wake up and mobilize energy. Eating breakfast during this time supports that rhythm by giving your body fuel when it's ready to use it efficiently. If you skip breakfast and then overeat late at night, you disrupt both your cortisol and insulin patterns, leaving your body tired, wired, and more likely to store fat. Another helpful strategy is to avoid constant snacking. Each time you eat even small bites, your insulin rises. When you snack all day, insulin never fully drops, and your body doesn't get the chance to access stored fat for energy. Instead, try focusing on 3 balanced meals, spaced out enough to allow insulin to fall in between. You'll likely notice your energy stabilizes, and those hangry crashes start to fade. To make this approach more effective, combine meal timing with nutrient awareness. Start your day with a protein-rich breakfast, something like eggs, Greek yogurt, or a smoothie with healthy fats to stabilize blood sugar and keep insulin steady. At lunch, prioritize fiber-rich vegetables, lean protein, and complex carbs to sustain energy. Then, finish the day with a lighter dinner that includes protein and vegetables, but fewer refined carbs. This pattern supports insulin sensitivity and gives your digestive system time to rest overnight. It's also important to consider how light exposure ties into this rhythm. Your body's internal clock is influenced by sunlight. Getting natural light in the morning helps regulate cortisol and insulin patterns, while dimming lights in the evening signals your body to wind down. When you pair this with an early dinner, your metabolism naturally slows in sync with your environment. Resetting insulin through meal timing isn't about deprivation, it's about rhythm and balance. You're helping your body return to the natural flow it was designed for, eating in daylight, resting at night, and alternating between fuel intake and fat burning. Over time, this rhythm rebuilds insulin sensitivity, calms cravings, and helps your metabolism switch back into fat burning mode more easily. It's a gentle but powerful way to teach your body how to manage energy efficiently again. When people begin to align their eating schedule with their circadian rhythm, many report that their hunger normalizes, their sleep improves, and that afternoon fatigue disappears. These changes happen because your body finally feels in sync, no longer fighting against itself. This is what metabolic healing looks like from the inside out: less effort, more flow, and a system that works with you instead of against you. Most people think that the secret to losing fat is about cutting calories or eliminating entire food groups, but the truth is much more about how you combine your foods. Every meal you eat sends a chemical message to your body, a signal that tells it whether to store energy or burn it. When you pair nutrients strategically, you can keep insulin levels steady, avoid blood sugar crashes, and help your metabolism stay in fat burning mode all day long. This is the science of nutrient pairing, balancing protein, fiber, and healthy fats with the right types of carbohydrates so your blood sugar stays stable and your energy stays consistent. When you eat a meal that's mostly refined carbs or sugar like white bread, cereal, or pastries, your blood sugar spikes quickly. Insulin rushes in to clear that sugar out of your bloodstream, and soon after, your blood sugar drops, leaving you tired, hungry, and craving more carbs. It's a roller coaster that keeps insulin high and your body locked in storage mode. But when you add protein, fiber, and healthy fats to that same meal, everything changes. These nutrients slow down digestion, meaning glucose enters your bloodstream more gradually. Your body can handle it with less insulin, and that steady release of energy helps you feel satisfied for hours instead of minutes. Protein plays the starring role in this balance. It's the most satiating macronutrient, meaning it keeps you full and curbs cravings. It also supports muscle tissue, which improves insulin sensitivity because muscle cells use glucose more efficiently than fat cells do. Starting each meal with protein, even something simple like eggs, chicken, Greek yogurt, or a protein smoothie helps set the tone for stable blood sugar. Fiber is another key player. Found in vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains, fiber acts like a sponge in your digestive system. It slows glucose absorption and helps blunt insulin spikes. It also feeds the healthy bacteria in your gut, which play a surprising role in metabolic health and inflammation control. When your gut microbiome is balanced, your body becomes better at regulating insulin and hunger hormones. Then there are healthy fats, the steady fuel that keeps your energy even. Fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish don't raise insulin levels at all, but they make meals more satisfying and help stabilize digestion. They also help slow the absorption of carbs when eaten together, which means your blood sugar curve stays smoother. When you combine all three protein, fiber, and healthy fats alongside slowed, digesting carbohydrates like oats, quinoa, or sweet potatoes, you create a metabolic environment where your body can burn fat efficiently. You're no longer feeding the insulin roller coaster, you're calming it. Your cells start using energy more steadily, and over time, your insulin sensitivity improves naturally. A simple way to put this into practice is to think about meal order and composition. Start your meal with vegetables or protein before moving on to carbs. Studies have shown that eating in this sequence can reduce post-meal glucose spikes by as much as 40%. For breakfast, this could mean having eggs and avocado before your toast. For lunch, try a chicken and veggie salad before rice or fruit. For dinner, fill half your plate with fibrous vegetables, add lean protein, and finish with a modest portion of complex carbs. You can also use nutrient pairing to your advantage when eating snacks. Instead of a plain banana, pair it with peanut butter or a handful of nuts. Instead of eating crackers alone, add cheese or hummus. These small adjustments make a huge difference in how your body processes food, less insulin released, more fat burned between meals. Another underrated benefit of nutrient pairing is energy stability. When your blood sugar stays even, you avoid that 3P, crash, the post-meal fatigue, and the brain fog that often lead to overeating or constant snacking. You feel more mentally clear, physically steady, and emotionally balanced. That consistency is a sign that your insulin rhythm is starting to heal. Nutrient pairing also supports your hormones beyond insulin. Balanced meals reduce cortisol spikes, improve leptin, insensitivity, the hormone that signals fullness, and lower inflammation, all of which make it easier for your body to let go of excess fat. Over time, this creates a positive feedback loop. Steady insulin supports fat burning, fat loss reduces inflammation, and lower inflammation makes insulin more effective. You don't have to eat perfectly or measure every bite to make this work. The goal is to be mindful of combinations, pairing foods that work with your metabolism, not against it. Each meal becomes an opportunity to support hormonal balance rather than disrupt it. When you do that consistently, your body naturally shifts toward fat burning mode without hunger, without restriction, and without obsession. In the long run, it's not about cutting carbs or following strict rules. It's about creating a balanced plate that communicates safety and stability to your body. When your meals tell your system you're nourished, you're safe, you can release stored energy. Your metabolism responds exactly as it's designed to, by burning fat efficiently, restoring energy, and maintaining balance with ease. Metabolic flexibility is the body's ability to effortlessly switch between burning glucose and burning fat for energy, a skill most of us were born with, but one that modern eating patterns and chronic stress have slowly eroded. In a healthy metabolism, your body uses glucose for quick energy when you eat and fat for fuel when you're between meals or asleep. But when insulin resistance sets in, that flexibility disappears. Your cells become sugar dependent, constantly craving quick fuel while your fat stores stay locked away, unused. Restoring metabolic flexibility is about teaching your body to shift gears again to efficiently use both sugar and fat depending on what's available. This flexibility begins at the cellular level with your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every cell. These organelles take in fuel, convert it into ATP, the body's energy currency, and determine how efficiently you burn energy. When mitochondria are healthy and active, your body can easily switch between glucose and fat metabolism. But when they're overloaded with toxins, inflammation, or constant high insulin, they start to malfunction. Cells become less efficient, producing less energy and more oxidative stress. You might feel this as fatigue, brain fog, or that frustrating weight plateau where no matter what you do, your energy and metabolism seem stuck. Improving mitochondrial health and insulin sensitivity go hand in hand. When insulin levels are chronically high, your mitochondria are flooded with excess glucose, which creates metabolic clutter. Over time, this leads to energy inefficiency. Your body can't fully burn the fuel it's being given, so it stores the excess as fat. To rebuild flexibility, the goal isn't to cut all carbs or rely entirely on fat, it's to retrain your body to handle both. That starts with lowering baseline insulin through smarter meal timing and nutrient balance, giving your mitochondria a break from the constant sugar burn. When insulin levels drop between meals, your body gets the message to switch fuel sources. It begins breaking down stored fat into fatty acids, which your mitochondria convert into energy. This process, called beta oxidation, is your body's built-in fat burning mode. The more often you allow insulin to fall by spacing meals, sleeping well, and reducing refined carbs, the more efficient your mitochondria become at this process. Over time, they adapt to use fat more readily, meaning you can go longer without eating, maintain steady energy, and avoid the roller coaster of sugar highs and crashes. Exercise also plays a huge role in restoring metabolic flexibility. When you move your body, especially through strength training or moderate intensity cardio, you increase the number and function of your mitochondria. Muscles act as glucose sponges, soaking up sugar from the bloodstream even without insulin. This not only lowers insulin levels, but also trains your body to toggle between fuel types more efficiently. After a workout, your body becomes more insulin sensitive, meaning the next time you eat, it needs less insulin to handle the same amount of glucose. That's how movement becomes medicine for metabolism. But flexibility isn't just about food and exercise, it's also about recovery and stress management. Chronic stress floods your system with cortisol, which raises blood sugar and indirectly increases insulin. Over time, this keeps your metabolism locked in sugar burning mode. Restoring flexibility means calming your nervous system through quality sleep, mindfulness, and relaxation, so your body feels safe enough to shift gears. When stress levels drop, your cells become more responsive to insulin, and your mitochondria can focus on producing clean energy instead of firefighting inflammation. Another important aspect of rebuilding metabolic flexibility is nutrient support. Mitochondria thrive on micronutrients like magnesium, B vitamins, coenzymes, Q10, and omega-3 fatty acids. These nutrients help your cells convert food into energy more efficiently and reduce oxidative damage. You can get them naturally through whole foods, leafy greens, nuts, fish, eggs, and colorful vegetables, which also help stabilize blood sugar and insulin levels. As your cells regain their rhythm, you'll start to notice tangible shifts. You'll wake up with more energy, go longer between meals without feeling ravenous, and experience a steady mental clarity throughout the day. That's your metabolism finding its balance again, your body learning that it doesn't have to cling to one fuel source for survival. Over time, this metabolic flexibility becomes the foundation for lasting fat loss and overall health. Instead of constantly fighting cravings, you'll notice that your body intuitively knows when it's hungry and when it's satisfied. You won't need to rely on willpower or extreme diets because your energy production will be balanced at a cellular level. What's remarkable is that once your mitochondria start functioning optimally, every other system in your body improves too: hormone balance, mood, brain function, and even immune resilience. Your body is designed to adapt, to find equilibrium, but it can only do that when the signals you send it through food, movement, rest, and stress are aligned with that natural rhythm. When you rebuild metabolic flexibility, you're not just burning fat more efficiently, you're restoring communication within your body. Your cells begin to trust that they'll get consistent, balanced fuel, and in return, your metabolism becomes stable, adaptable, and self-regulating. That's the true mark of metabolic health: freedom from energy crashes, freedom from cravings, and the ability to thrive no matter what life throws your way. The real key to keeping insulin low and fat burning consistent isn't about perfection, it's about rhythm. Small, steady habits practiced daily send powerful signals to your body, telling it that it's safe, nourished, and ready to use energy efficiently. When you live in sync with your biology, insulin naturally stabilizes. The challenge is that most of us live in environments that constantly push insulin up: constant snacking, late nights, stress, and light exposure at all hours. So the goal isn't just to fix your diet, it's to create a lifestyle that supports your hormones from morning to night. Your day starts the moment you wake up, and what you do in those first 60 minutes sets the tone for your metabolism. One of the simplest habits you can build is morning movement. It doesn't have to be intense exercise. Even a 10-minute walk, a few stretches, or light resistance training signals your body to release stored energy instead of storing it. Morning activity increases insulin sensitivity for the rest of the day and helps your muscles act as a natural glucose sink. Think of it as flipping your metabolism on for the next 12 hours. After movement, light exposure becomes your next ally. Getting sunlight in your eyes early in the day helps regulate your circadian rhythm, aligning cortisol and insulin patterns. This simple act lowers evening cravings, improves sleep quality, and keeps your energy balanced. If you can, combine your morning walk with sunlight exposure. It's one of the most powerful and free metabolic resets available. When it comes to eating, structure matters more than restriction. Focus on having your first meal within a few hours of waking, something balanced with protein, fiber, and healthy fats. This breakfast blunts your body's stress response, stabilizes blood sugar, and reduces mid-morning cravings. Throughout the day, aim to eat in an 8-10 hour window, ideally finishing dinner 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. That overnight fasting window is when insulin levels fall and your body taps into fat stores for fuel. You don't need to fast aggressively, just allow enough time for your body to rest and repair between meals. Stress is one of the biggest hidden triggers for insulin spikes. Every time you experience emotional tension, cortisol rises, and cortisol elevates blood sugar. Your body interprets this as a need for more energy, even if you haven't eaten anything. Over time, chronic stress can mimic the effects of a poor diet, keeping insulin elevated and fat storage high. The solution isn't to eliminate stress, but to regulate your nervous system throughout the day. Try simple grounding habits like deep breathing, short mindfulness breaks, or journaling. Even 5 minutes of conscious calm can lower cortisol and help reset your metabolism. Hydration also plays a surprisingly big role in insulin balance. Dehydration can cause blood sugar fluctuations and fatigue that often get mistaken for hunger. Drinking water consistently throughout the day supports cellular energy production and helps your kidneys flush out excess glucose. You can add a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon to improve hydration and electrolyte balance. Sleep may be the most underestimated fat burning tool of all. When you sleep, your body resets insulin and stress hormones, repairs mitochondria, and restores metabolic balance. Poor sleep, even for a few nights, can increase insulin resistance by up to 30%. To protect your sleep rhythm, dim lights in the evening, avoid screens an hour before bed, and keep your room cool and dark. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of deep, uninterrupted rest. Your morning energy and fat metabolism depend heavily on how you sleep at night. Movement throughout the day, not just in the morning, is another way to keep insulin low. Long periods of sitting cause glucose and insulin to rise, even if you exercise regularly. Taking short movement snacks at every hour, standing, stretching, walking keeps your muscles active and insulin sensitivity high. Think of your muscles as glucose regulators. The more often you use them, the better they manage energy. Finally, consistency matters more than intensity. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. Pick a few habits and repeat them daily until they become effortless. Maybe it's walking after dinner, choosing protein with every meal, or going to bed 30 minutes earlier. These simple changes compound over time, retraining your metabolism to stay balanced without stress or struggle. When all these elements, movement, light, nutrition, stress management, hydration, and sleep start working together, your body shifts into a steady state of energy balance. Insulin stays low, inflammation quiets, and fat burning becomes your body's natural default mode. You'll notice that you're no longer chasing energy highs or battling afternoon crashes. Instead, you feel steady, calm, and strong throughout the day. This is what sustainable metabolic health feels like, not restriction or exhaustion, but balance. By honoring your body's natural rhythm and giving it consistent cues of safety and nourishment, you create a foundation where fat burning happens automatically. These habits aren't quick fixes. They're long-term signals that remind your body of what it already knows how to do: thrive with energy, stability, and ease.